Welcome to what the church won't say.
Where we have difficult conversations at the foot of the cross.
And today gonna be a especially difficult conversation because I got the fellas here,
right?
And I know they gonna act the fool as we do a reactionary video to yours truly is, are you dating a 304? I feel like men are getting into relationships, marriages with women, and these women, unbeknownst to them, so they say, have characteristics of a 304 or don't have the character of a wife. So let's look at this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
Far too often, I hear men say, I didn't know she was like that. Because we are visual creatures, we often turn a blind eye to clear signs we are dealing with a 304 because a woman may have the external goods we're looking for. Once the infatuation wears off, we are either in a covenant with the wrong woman or have deep emotional ties with a 304.
I'm gonna pause that right there. Hey, listen, you know what that part remind me of? I read this book, and it said that a person can be infatuated with someone up to 18 months. And my advice is always, this is just the rule of thumb, don't marry nobody for 2 years. Let the infatuation wear off. Let that haze that's over your eyes and she's glimmering in the moonlight wear off before you choose to spend the rest of your life with somebody. I want to hear y'all feedback on that.
I may not be the one to answer for this one.
That don't mean you had to do it for it to be true.
Listen, wait. This is what the church will not say.
Right.
You gotta speak your piece. Right. That makes you the perfect person to answer this question.
I feel like I dealt with a lot of 304s, and I felt like when I found my wife, I was just like, oh my God, she's different. She's cut from a different cloth, and she had been celibate for like maybe a year to a year and a half, and I was like, wow, you know, and you know, she told me that she had tendencies, but she had, you know, she matured from that, and I saw her putting in the work, and I was just like, this is somebody I would like to spend the rest of my life with. And the funny thing is, she reminded me of my mother. Okay. So it didn't take a long time for me. The trick was I was 304. I need to put in the work. So
it sounds like you saying, if you know, go ahead and pull the trigger.
If you know, you know.
Okay, fair enough. I ain't gonna argue that. I don't think it's a wrong or right way. I'm just saying, with there being so many divorces, we need to just be a little bit more patient. Because one of my best friends' father told me something when I bought this house. He told me, he said, listen, before you remodel the basement, because I was telling him what my plans was with the basement. Gotcha. He said, man, let that house go through two of every season. And I'm like, why? He said, because you may not know what the house is going to do through 2 winters, through springs. Let the house show you if it's a crack in the foundation. Let the house show you if there's a crack in the wall, because you don't want to build walls and floors and have to pull them down because you missed a crack.
That's good.
Oh my gosh.
So I just say sometimes when you're emotionally charged, especially in the early stages, you see this person almost flawless. But I want to know, me personally, if I'm marrying someone, I want to know where I need to cover you in prayer. Yeah. I need to know where your mind needs to be renewed. I need to know where to handle you more gently, you know, and not just grab you and I'm thinking I'm loving you and I'm hurting you because there's some hurt right here. Okay. I just think sometimes patience allow you to see things in a more comprehensive way.
Yeah, I can see both ends of that, right? Like, you don't want to have buyer's remorse, so to speak. Definitely don't want to have that, you know, because that's a real thing. You know, when you lead with your eyes instead of your heart and your consciousness, you can make a visual decision that's just bad news, right?
That's what most men do.
So when you get into it, though, let me ask you brothers this question. If you get into a situation like that and you enter into a covenant, tell me how you understand the for better or worse part of your vows. Can you love someone through that part?
I want to make sure I understand the question.
Yes, sir.
You're marrying someone, but you come to find out they have some characteristics that may not be the best characteristics for a wife. How do you love her?
Or however you line it up with your...
But how do you love her through that?
How long do you, quote unquote, love and cover through that part?
The whole marriage. You signed up. You signed the covenant. You all in. Yeah. You all in. I mean...
There's no...
But if you go through those 2 seasons first...
But that's before the marriage.
No, that's what I'm saying. So your point is, if you exercise patience, go through those 2 seasons, you won't wake up like my boy who was like, whoa, You know what I mean?
I mean, you may. I mean, because people change as well. Or you don't know, somebody can have a traumatic situation,
Yes, sir.
and it births a bad behavior or sends them back into a bad behavior. My point is, at least do the work.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you can have an idea. Yeah. and I'll say that. At least you'll know what you're up against. I think too often we're married to people and we later on find out they're a whole demon.
Well, you know what though? I'll say this. I know the naivety of marriage for a lot of people roots itself in the idea of perfection. Like, you get this societal push to like find the perfect person or the perfect mate. What you're saying is, I need to know how to cover you in prayer.
Yeah.
That's a mature take that a lot of people don't share.
Yeah.
If you go in there thinking that you're going to marry perfection, you'll always be disappointed.
Absolutely not. They just don't exist.
I would just add to that and say that I realize too that there are no perfect people.
No.
And I realize that in a marriage that what my wife brings to the table is to actually make me better, pull things out of me. So if in fact she does have some 304 tendencies, maybe God is trying to improve my patience. He wants that to mature. He wants my love to mature. So if he wants my love to mature, he's going to bring something to me that's unlovely.
So okay, now you made me go down this rabbit hole.
Here we go.
Go here. Yeah,
Here we go.
I know. Do you think God uses the character of people to draw things out of us, or did we just make bad decisions, overlook some things, and therefore he's a utilitarian, so he's using it? You get what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily, okay, well, you know what? Marry her, and I can use, not kind of like Hosea's wife.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You know I was going to go there.
Yeah, like Hosea's wife.
He dove
But I'm
first.
saying that because I
He
think
said-
sometimes we throw that as a cop-out. You know, well, he's using that to make me holy. More so not saying, well, I made a bad choice. You know what I mean? But I'm going to love her through it and be holy.
Because the reality is this. She might be a 304, but you might be a 30 bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So you can look at it like, man, maybe I'm the person that needs to change within that.
Absolutely.
Because oftentimes, I say it all, you find people who marry their counterpart. There's a lot of similarities in between these two people.
Yes.
Sometimes the mirror is the hardest reflection to look at.
Absolutely.
And it's like you thinking she got these tendencies, but she just matching energy. You know?
Wow.
And I'll say that to this man's point.
Wow.
I think oftentimes we don't realize why we marry a 304, someone that has bad characteristics, is because you're not whole. Your brokenness cried out to her brokenness. It was a reason why you didn't see those things, because you could relate.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think hurt people just have a way of drawing to each other. And that's, listen, dog, Jesus, if he was to choose a wife, who would he choose?
Man.
Everybody's flawed.
You know?
Wow.
Everybody's flawed, right? So my point in all of this is, I just think sometimes, though, bro, we are just overlooking the obvious of the reflection of our mate in ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're just mirrors.
And I love that thought process of Jesus chose a wife, the church. Oof.
Ugh.
What does that say about this? And I'm not trying to stray off topic. We got to get to the video. We only watched a couple seconds. We only watched a couple seconds.
Right.
But the church was imperfect, right?
No, the church was a 304. Let's call it what it is.
Get back to the video. You got to get back to the video. You know I'm going to go crazy.
Hey, let's
You know
call it
I'm
what
gonna
it
go
is.
crazy.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapters 5 and 7 identifies the 304 in that era as the strange woman. Strange, in this context, was defined in Hebrew as a foreigner, profane, to turn aside, or to commit adultery. The strange woman was often a foreigner who served foreign gods. Some of these false gods required orgies and sexual exploits as a form of worship. It was also considered strange for a Hebrew woman to be promiscuous because that would lower her value and would likely keep her from being married. It was the culture of the Israelites to marry a virgin. The blood that would flow during the first time a Hebrew woman had sex on her wedding night was like the final step of the covenant of marriage. If a woman was not a virgin, it was extremely rare that anyone would marry her. It is interesting. What's considered strange during those times is now normal in the Western culture. Proverbs 5 and 6 says, "Lest thou should ponder the path of life, Her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. The 304, or the strange woman, is unstable. She does not have a rhyme or reason for what she does.
Did she drink milk?
She actually was drinking the wax of a candle.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I was like, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, she was so lit.
You go to the bar, like, let me get a glass of that milk.
It's crazy how Satan has it set up. It's the videos talking about the woman being strange and rambunctious and disruptive and disrespectful. And then you got this man with this ego and this pride. She ain't got the right man. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm gonna get her to straighten up. I'm gonna get her to line up, and then he get her, and then she turn him into chopped liver. He get all nice. He turned into a marshmallow. 15, 20 years, he's a shell of himself. Like, what happened? Well, you know that strange woman. Oh, she wore you down. Just because she gets stronger. Like when they are in culture, their desire is to rule over the man. That's their desire.
Yeah.
So if you not in position, meaning that you are submitting to Adonai, she gonna truck you.
Yeah.
Forward and backwards.
Yes.
The only way she's gonna submit to you is if you are submitting to Adonai. She's gonna follow your lead. So if you being rebellious, she gonna be rebellious.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm just getting while I'm watching this.
You know what I'm getting? I'm about to talk to y'all as men. It's like this camera's not on. We all know the freakiest woman or the craziest woman. Can we just be honest?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking about this one particular verse that says, you can't know her ways, because she don't know her ways. She's impulsive. She all over the place. And that's so dope in the bedroom. But when you actually trying to build with somebody, you pay bills with somebody, she gonna tear that boy to the studs.
And then talk about you. How you let me do that?
Yeah, right.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah, but it's so funny what we, as men, what we enjoy so much is our cancer. It is. That craziness in the bedroom is the cancer in life, in your purpose. It really is. And if we can just get past that 15 minutes, you know, we can really see what the most important things of dating someone. I could tell something on your heart, bro.
No, I'm just pondering, man. I'm thinking.
Yeah. This man brought up a whole tablet with scripture. He about to go in, y'all. So
I'm not going to do it.
It's a mini sermon.
So the way you pause it while she doing the splits is great.
That's this man's work.
He drank a cup of milk. She drank milk from a candle, and then she doing the splits. No. I was thinking about just that portion of it. So I love mental gymnastics, right? I love to be stimulated mentally. But I have such a low tolerance for certain things. And so when we're talking like, hey, the freak is one of the craziest, I don't know if that's my cup of tea or not. Like, you ever watch a sports show and I'm like, how was the game? And you like, man, they was going back and forth, but then they pulled it out last minute, they won, Paul.
Right.
They pulled it out last minute and they won the game.
Right.
I like landslide victories. I want to see somebody win by 50. I don't like the anxiety of wondering what's going to happen, which is why I like to follow Christ.
Yeah.
I can sleep sound at night because I know what's going to happen, right? But I do see certain couples, and I've counseled certain people through some of these things where they like this tension that's almost, it's almost weird. It's weird, not almost weird to me. So it's like almost this combativeness that happens. And it's like, that's what thrills people. I don't like that. I never have. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that I think something's wrong with that, you know?
I do.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, hey.
I have a real moment. I do.
So yeah, it's like I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to come home like and be on the phone like, yeah, Lawrence, hey, tell y'all she was crazy, but you know they say that makeup sex. I don't want to go through all of that, man.
Yeah.
No.
I want to identify with that because I want to understand what's attractive about that.
Yeah.
We would go to the little clubs and all the dancing and all of this stuff would happen, and I'm like, I don't even. The music too fast. Why is it so loud in here? You know what I mean? I've always been like that.
I completely understand, man. And guess what? There's some people that's listening that completely can relate to you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get back to it.
As this issue of being all over the place as if she likes to be spontaneous. However, she is a kite untethered in the eye of a tornado. And if you choose to tie your life to hers, you are a cowboy with no hands.
A cowboy? Where did you find a cowboy with no hands? Did you write that piece before you play? I'm sorry. This had nothing to do with 304s, 5s, nothing. My man was on that giddy up with a wrist. We got to backtrack.
Go ahead.
We go from the lady who I thought was drinking milk. She was drinking the candle. Wow. You said pause the tape. We see some lady doing the splits in the street, right?
Yeah.
Then we see a tornado, and he put a little smiling kite just floating in the tornado. Then the shackles came, then the brother with no hands. And then my mind said, if he ain't got no hands, he out that jam. But then I saw my man on the horse. He will not be stopped. I'm with him.
He don't care ass bucket.
Bro,
come on, man.
I'm in this for the long
right.
run.
Yeah.
Which is 2 seconds.
And now there's a bull right there, and I need to know what happens next.
Yeah.
Proverbs 7:10 says, Behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
If it looked like a duck, it quacked like a duck, it walked like a duck, it's a duck. Unfortunately, today's culture loves to separate the attire of a person from their heart. But this could not be further from the truth.
And so talk to me about the attire, because I noticed the attire. Now, that she was showing a little something. Cakes was on full display. But how do you all look at the attire, how someone is dressed, and what's the initial thought?
Normally, when we're talking about a modest woman doesn't want that type of attention. She wants you just to talk to her. Look at me in my face.
Right.
Don't look at my chest. You know, I know I'm well endowed, but, you know, I'm covered up, so give me the respect. So if you come in here and I'm saying that you got a tattoo on the top part of your thigh, and it's showing me, and it's like, man, that look nice. Then you turn around, then it's a tramp stamp. And I'm like, and then you bending over and stuff like that. I'm just like, hey, sweetie, you can sit down and put your shoes on. But they want to bend over and stuff, and they look back. You like what you see? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let me qualify this statement. If a woman is not saved, I have no expectations for her dress. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? I don't expect a pig to be clean.
Wow.
And I'm not calling a woman that ain't saved, but I'm saying that's in her.
They know you weren't saying that.
That's in their nature to be sinful, just like it's in the nature of a pig to be in mud.
That's true.
My problem is with my sisters. That's where I start to define how deep your roots go in Christ. Because if we are here to be ambassadors, the last thing you want to do is be a bad one. The last one you want to do is to be the one. You're supposed to lead people to Christ when you're leading them away from them.
Yeah.
And so I think I find exception with my sisters more so in that regard.
Yeah, it's like the need to almost maintain the status in popular culture sometimes. But to your point, it's like, how you gonna be the hands and feet of Jesus with dirty nails?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know what's coming to mind as y'all talking, man? It's taking me way back into the scriptures where Jesus talk about if you lead one of these young ones astray,
that's good.
It'd be better for you than a millstone to be tied around your neck and you're thrown into the sea. And he's basically saying, if you're leading someone astray away from me, the torture in hell is going to be so horrendous that, trust me, you're going to wish that you didn't even exist. And we play with this thing like Jesus' words were just ideas or suggestions, but they were mandates.
Yeah.
You know what, something that's jumping out to me? The last 2 churches that I've been a part of are pretty bigs. One about 500-600 members, another one about 1,200 members. I noticed in the summertime, it's rough at my church. And it was rough at my other church. And it's like I'm hearing good word, good sound word. And when I come out, when the service is over, I'm seeing a dress attire of, this ain't modest what y'all got on. It's just it's what we seeing on here. And I'm like, this in the house of God. I'm seeing the tags. I'm seeing the tramp stamps. I'm seeing the I shouldn't know that you got a G-string on.
Yeah, you know what is it? Come as you are, not come as you were.
Look, I shouldn't see that your nipples are pierced. I shouldn't see that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we at church.
I'm going to go forward. I'm just going to leave it at, hey, you said a man.
After that, what's to say?
See, even sport enthusiasts like to wear a jersey, hat, or article of clothing that reflect their interests. Businessmen often like to dress to do business, and so do 304s. We would like to think that every woman that dresses in skimpy clothes are not 304s, and I believe there are exceptions to every rule. But do not be deceived. A woman that aims to display her body is either advertising or find her identity in displaying her body. Colossians 3:23 indicates whatever you do, do unto the Lord. A woman of God would not place what she wants over honoring the Lord. How a person dresses is typically a reflection of their heart. Proverbs 7:11 states the 304 is loud. That means the 304 is loud, which can be in the value in which she speaks, or it also can be how she dresses or do her hair. She is loud and loves attention, which is the opposite of what God states in 1 Peter 3:4, which he says he loves a meek and quiet spirit, which is a great value in his sight. See, a 304 will always desire everyone's attention.
yeah, I'm laughing like I ain't seen this before. But I want to ask y'all something, and I'm about to go down a slippery slope. But I'm going down here for a reason, and I'm going to talk about our culture for a minute with loud black women. I hate to do this, but I want to hear what is this that y'all feel is causing our culture of women to be so loud and seeking voice in the most obnoxious ways out there.
I just think it's a product of not being heard. Being undervalued and not being covered properly by brothers, not us specifically, but by us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything from the music that's been out that's popular, some of our greatest hits in hip hop and R&B objectify women. And imagine being a woman and listening to this while you on a date, or hearing this played throughout your childhood or played throughout your adulthood, and seeing the response of men. On some level, once you get to a certain point, I think that anybody would want to fight for their quote unquote seat at the table. So like, now that I know who I am, I have value, I need you to listen to me. And that's not the only reason, of course. But I think that a lot of it has to do with the lack of covering and a lack of understanding their value as it relates to us.
You said lack of covering. Can you explain that or break that down a little bit more for people?
I think a lot of relationships that brothers have had, they're just not, they become transactional, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about what we are owed based off of chivalry or being nice. How often do you see brothers open the door for their wives or girlfriends, or just being civil? Everything is about what I can get from you. And then we misuse and pervert being a provider a little bit too, right? So now if I take you out for dinner, or if we live together, we marry, whatever the case is, because I pay bills, I think that I'm owed something. You know what I mean? And if you're obligated based off of a payment, then you are talking about a 304, and you're setting it up like that. God could have made us love him, but we love him at a choice.
Yeah.
I want to be chosen. You know what I mean? Not forced into this. And so now if you got this whole entire setup, then if I'm not operating under that system, I am going to be loud. I am going to be boisterous. I am going to want you to hear me. I will be in your face because I've never been heard before. I've been devalued. I've been victimized. I haven't been covered. What do you expect me to do? I need you to hear my voice.
So I want to hear from both of you brothers, because as you're saying that, it's true. It's absolutely true. But I'm also thinking we have wounded so many black women.
Yes. Yeah.
We have wounded so many, and some of them are acting out of that pain, right?
I was going
I just want to finish this thought.
Okay.
So they're acting out of that pain, and so now we don't even want to marry them. The black woman is the woman that's least valued when it comes to marriage.
Talk about it.
So now we hurt them, but at the same time, now we don't want to marry because they're wounded. You know what I mean? So I just want to kind of just paint this picture as well.
I don't want to pay the price for her trauma. Exactly. You caused it.
Right.
So like the world system is like a woman's value is in her pants and our value is in our pocket.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so if we operate outside of that, then what's the use of us being connected? But the word's way is our value is in Christ.
Yeah. I always think there's an elect for a reason. He calls us elect because it's only a remnant of those that's gonna believe, unfortunately. But that don't mean we stop sharing it. You know?
sir.
Yeah.
Proverbs 7:11 also mentions the strange woman's feet abide not in her house. You know why? Because the 304 is a busybody who is uneasy when she spends too many days in a row at home. She thinks she's missing something or the world is moving on without her. Her priorities are not tied to her home, children, or her man. The 304 has an unquenchable thirst for the streets. Proverbs 7:16 and 17 says, the 304 has decked her bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved work, with fine linen of Egypt. See, she has perfumed her bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. The 304 has a heart that's steeped in materialism. See, the finest things, the shine, the bling, the designer dream will blind this queen. The 304 will place items over people, money over family, opportunities over unity. She has a surface understanding of loyalty, a superficial Rolodex of priorities.
Right there. What was jumping at me with this video is all of the women are like-minded, that's hanging together. Like, that's the one thing that I realized most of the women that I kicked it with, when I looked at their friends, they all had the same mindset. They all was on garbage. They all was on what he make, where he work at, what he giving you, what kind of car he drive. Oh yeah, he can get you. Yeah. You should give him a chance. So I realized when I had the store, they was like, he got a store. And then they'll bring their friends sometimes to my store. Oh my God, oh yeah. So when can we all go out? Drinks on you, T?
Right.
No. You know, so
I like the way you.
Nah.
We ain't doing that.
Right.
nah.
So it's almost like your friends is a reflection of you.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes we try to separate them too, but you hanging with them for a reason.
Yeah. Somebody told me that I was just like my friends before, because I was talking down about, man, they don't got no get about themselves, they ain't got no job, and they was like, they your good friends though.
Right, you know what I mean?
I was like, then I'm looking like, I got some other friends, and I was just like, no, I don't.
It's like you hang.
No, I don't.
I
got some other acquaintances.
Right. You hanging out in the garbage like you stink. We stink.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's always hard to smell your own breath.
Now, Proverbs 7:18 says, come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. Understand the strange woman is a prisoner of the moment. She is weak-willed and find it difficult to pass a new thrill. A moment of pleasure or fun is too intoxicating to turn from. The 304 is willing to sacrifice her future relationships or even her own body for a moment of groaning. She is.
When I was in a backslidden state, those were the only women I wanted.
Which ones?
With everything you just had showing,
The one in the hospital too?
I wanted the woman.
He said all of them.
I
Bring me a sick, you're tired, you're thick, you're...
can't fight.
She on IV.
She can't fight. Wait a minute. We gotta unpack that.
You got a little rough.
Cut that in post. We're gonna cut that in post.
She can't fight.
You want this sodium? Huh? I'll push the button on this machine.
Oh my God! All I'm saying, I like the woman that was into toys. I like the women that were definitely freaky and would be willing to have sex outside and stuff like that. That was adventurous and we could go somewhere and let's just pull over and do it. I like that, but I realized that
All right.
I could not.
You had a list.
No,
Bro.
I could not satisfy that appetite. I really needed deliverance. I needed to come around brotherhood. I needed to come around men and confess my faults and say where I was at. And I realized that as I started doing that consistently and hearing other brothers share and things of that nature, really getting into the word, that those demonic thoughts, that hunger, it left. But I realized it was something that I had to chase after. Like I was chasing after the women, I had to chase after Jesus.
You know what? And it's like that's what people say the devil does his best work in isolation.
Yes.
You convince yourself that you're so broken and so off the reservation that nobody will understand this. And then when you get around people, to your earlier point, you are who you be with. Like you are around your group of friends. So now that you're around good brothers and groups and men who are talking about this thing,
fruit of it,
you find brotherhood, man, and you can stay free from that type of vice, man. That's good stuff, bro. That's good stuff.
You know, it got me thinking about this, how the enemy try to bait us into the thing that we're good at. And I say a lot of men get caught up in.
Wait, you got to let that breathe.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Hey.
Yeah.
All right now.
Because I think what it is like I'm thinking about myself, and I can speak well to people. I can convince people of things. I'm influential.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I used to be good at talking women out of their clothes. So it became a sport for me.
You know what I almost did when you said that.
I know. I saw your.
You know what I almost did. I ain't gonna do it. Not everything is meant for the podcast.
Right. But whether it's you can speak, or you good in bed, or you good at you know what I mean, making women do things they don't want to do.
Right.
You start finding, because you have a purpose, but you start feeling like I'm better at everybody else at this, so I want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's attached to sin. It's attached to death, and that's the problem, because you really have an ability. Like right now, this same ability that I was using to talk women out they draws.
Yeah.
I'm talking people into the kingdom.
Come on now.
So it's like, it's not that you don't have a gift. It's just sometimes you're on the wrong side of the spectrum and you're using it the wrong way. But you feel alive still to some degree when you're doing it. And I think that's where men are, even whether that's them, I'm good in bed, or I make women squirt, or what. They go into this craziness in their mind and like, man, who am I if I'm not that?
I love the fact that we're pointing out all the things as far as our gifting, but the one thing I realize is I start paying attention. If Satan is allowing all of this stuff to come so easy to me, there's a strong chance that God want to blow it up. God want to breathe on it. Cause if I'm able to lure people in to the kingdom of darkness, imagine what I can do for the kingdom of light.
Absolutely.
And that's when I realized, like, you know, he's offering me lentil soup. And God, like, I got birthrights for you. You want the lentil soup, or you want to come with these birthrights?
Right.
I'm going to take the birthrights. But for a period of time, I was going after lentil soup, but I was realizing it wasn't fulfilling. And it'll never be fulfilling.
A lentil is a bean, right?
Yeah.
Bean soup.
I don't want. No, I'm with you.
Right.
I'm just making the correlation, man.
Yeah, but I'm realizing that on the other end, once we come into light, we're able to see that I was chasing a mirage.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what it felt like to me. Like, once the blinders came off, I'm like, he has nothing to offer.
So what did that first time, that revelation for both, like, what did that realize, like, what did that feel like when you realized, like, wait a minute, I've been hustling backwards the whole time? Like, how did that feel? Because I can only imagine what Paul felt like in Damascus. And like, once you get your real sight.
I got a moment where I was, so I went through a rough divorce. And so after that time, I just really was wrestling with God about holiness and matrimony and this godly. I was really struggling, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I remember this one time I'm in this club and I bumped into somebody I used to work with, a female I used to work with, that I used to preach to.
Wow.
Right? So I'm in the club, drinking my hand. I'm with a couple of my guys. We scouting out the talent in the house and all of that. And she walks over to me. She said, hey, she sparked a conversation. She said, where your Bible at? And it just pierced me. It just pierced me because, 4 years ago, I was so hardcore on Christ. And it was just the hypocrisy. It just came in like a flood. And I felt dirty. I felt fake.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so to me, that was a moment that I had a chance to look at myself. And to be honest, this is the part though, I still didn't know how I got here. Like I just didn't trust God no more.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest, bro. Like I just didn't trust God. And maybe I'll go a little bit into that story, but I'll just give people the Cliff Note version of it. You know, I by my standards, I did the right thing getting married. You know, I waited to have sex before I got married. You know what I mean? I was trying to be a stand-up guy, good Christian, and I expected. Anytime you leave with that, you can.
Man, you already know what that's
about to go left.
Rebel.
I expected a healthier marriage. I expected things to go smoothly. I expected God to bless me in some ways that He probably would have if I was patient. You know what I mean? I expected certain things that just was not taking place in this marriage. And I expected it because I did my job. Now, God, you got to do yours. And some reason, I think when we feel like we're crossing T's and dotting I's, God never promised us anything but tribulation.
Come on.
That's all He ever promised us was persecution. What He promised us was death. What He promised us is a cross. We make it up in our minds that if I do X, Y, and Z, He's going to bless me in these different facets. That's not really what He's guaranteeing, you know? And I think when you think everything is going to work out the way you imagine it and your expectations, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because also, this may be the case. It may work out that way. But He ain't say it's going to work out that way in the next 10 years or 5. So I just think, me personally, I had this works mentality where if I do my part, God is going to do this for me. And when He didn't do that, you know, what I wanted Him to do to fix my marriage and fix my ex-wife and all these things, then guess what? Man, this thing ain't real.
Right.
And I think that's just like the way that a lot of times we get rooted in tradition, where it's like, hey, if you do this, this will happen. If you put things out in the atmosphere, it's gonna come back to you. If you put it in the universe, all of these different things. And then like the law of attraction and all of this other stuff, and matching energy and doing all of these things. And no disrespect to people that live like that. If that's your way, that's your way.
I live that way, y'all. So yeah.
And I think before we get that moment, that where your Bible that moment, like we all have fallen victim to that because we get rooted into the tradition and the religion of things, and just the way that things happen. You work 9 to 5, you go on at 9, you come out at 5. Every 2 weeks you get a paycheck.
Come on, and you expect that.
To realize that God's grace doesn't adhere to the world's traditional way of doing things.
Yeah.
But we serve a supernatural God, right? We serve a supernatural God. And it's like once we try to put Him on a schedule, I think we cheapen His impact and who He is.
Come on, brother.
Because now we're trying to make Him go into this box that we've created that makes sense to us.
Yes.
His ways are not our ways for a reason.
Absolutely.
Now, there's no scientific method for the supernatural, bro.
Not at all. I wish I could have known that about 10 years ago.
Now, Proverbs 7:19 through 21 explains the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. Her man has taken a bag of money with them and will not come home until the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him, because her lips is smooth as a baby's bottom. She knows how to finesse with words from Sodom, possessed to know the affairs of the square for an affair. Beware, she strikes like a dart through the liver. Many strong men have fell prey to her ways, not knowing her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. She is a chainsaw in Cain's paw, severing your left leg and arm. When she's done, there's nothing left.
But listen, y'all, I hope that something we said blessed you guys. As always, we just got one motive, is that you to come closer to Christ and you become more like Him. Stay plugged in. Go ahead, like and subscribe. And as always, when you plug in, we're going to be right here to say
What the church won't say.
Welcome to what the church will not say.
Why you get proper all of a sudden? Will not
He's
say.
like, my friends, welcome to what the church will not say.
Will not say.
Where we have difficult conversations at the flanges of the cross.
Like, what just happened?
Oh my God.
This dude started talking to King James.
They will not say it. I besmirch you to speak the truth.
Too, like, with the lip.
He got kind of a ginger ale, too. Everything about you is classic.
It was, bro. Your sword is in my hip, man.
All right.
Oh, no, hold on. Pause. Big pause.
Pause.
No. sip my tea.